morning, boys and girls. Happy Friday. If we were in school today, we would be coming into school to do some art. And then after that, we would be taking the cars and the toys out in the yard. And then at the end of the day, we would have Star of the Week. I'm going to have to give out loads of Stars of the Week when we get back to school. My goodness me. We'll have to talk about that when we're back in school. I might have to buy lots of lollipops. Today we are going to read Mr. Mean, and this is what Mr. Mean looks like. Mr. Mean. Mr. Mean lived up to his name. He lived in what could have been a nice house, but it wasn't. He never painted it, or mended the windows, or repaired the roof. Inside it was the same. No carpets, no curtains, no pictures, no fires. And Mr. Mean was so mean, he made his furniture out of old orange boxes and then complained about the price of nails. Why, he was so mean. You know what he gave to his brother for Christmas last year? A piece of coal. His window is broken. It wasn't as if Mr. Mean didn't have any money. Oh no! He had lots of money and he kept it all hidden in a box where he kept in the kitchen. Every evening he'd sit there counting it. It was the only thing Mr. Mean liked doing. And would he spend it? Oh dear no, not old Meanie, not if he could help it. One day Mr. Mean was sitting in his gloomy kitchen having a gloomy meal. He only ever had one meal a day, and that day he was having a cup of water and a piece of bread which was 3 weeks old. Suddenly he was interrupted by a knock at the door. Drat, he said, because he didn't like people. Drat and bother. He opened the door, and there on his doorstep stood a wizard. A rather fat wizard. Hello, said the wizard. I wonder if by any chance, as it's such a warm day, you could possibly, if it's not too much trouble, be so kind as to, if it's not too inconvenient perhaps, as I'm very thirsty, provide me with, do you think, a glass, if it's not too much to ask, of water, please? He was a very wordy wizard. No, replied Mr. Mean rudely, and shut the door in his face, and went back into his kitchen to finish his meagre meal. Ah, the poor wizard! That wasn't very nice. Mr. Mean should be kind and should give him a glass of water. He's very thirsty. In school, we're very kind. If someone needs a drink, they ask me or Jackie and they get a drink, no problem. But there, standing in front of him, was the wizard. How did you get in? Gasped Mr. Mean. Well, replied the wizard, it was by, how shall I put it? I just, well, you know, waved the old, what's its name, magic wand, don't you know, and well, here I am, if you know what I mean. You must be very poor, he remarked kindly, looking around. Oh yes, I am, lied Mr. Mean. Then perhaps I can help you, said the wizard, pulling up a box to sit down. The box didn't move, so the wizard pulled it harder, and this time it did move. In fact, it tipped up and spilt all Mr. Mean's money all over the floor. Now the wizard will know that he was lying. It's not a good thing to lie. We always have to tell the truth, yes? It's very important to be honest. Well, 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 exclaimed the wizard, eyeing the money rolling all over the kitchen floor. Well, 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 well. It would appear to me, he continued, that you, sir, are an old meanie. Mr. Mean didn't hear him. He was too busy scrabbling all over the floor trying to pick up his money. And meanies, added the wizard, need to be taught a lesson. So saying, he waved his magic wand. Let's see what happens. Oh, let me look. And all the money turned into potatoes. Potatoes? Poor Mr. Mean. Oh dear, he wailed. Please turn my money back into money. Oh please, he begged. Perhaps, replied the wizard, on the other hand, taking all things into account, by and large, things being what they are, on the face of it, perhaps not. He's very wordy. What a funny wizard, the way he talks. However, continued the wordy wizard, if you make me a solemn promise never to be mean again, then I will turn your money back into money. But, he added sternly, if you are ever mean again, then it's, how can I put it? Then it's potatoes for you, my lad, if not other vegetables as well. Then the wizard had the glass of water he'd come in for in the first place, except that it was a cup of water because Mr. Mean didn't have any glasses. Then with another wave of his wand, he turned the potatoes back into money, and with another wave of his wand, made himself disappear. Stupid wizard, murmured Mr. Mean, picking up all his money. The following day, Mr. Mean decided to walk into town. He never took the bus because that cost money. On the way, he met an old washerwoman carrying an enormous bundle of washing. Please, kind sir, she asked, could you possibly help me carry this washing? It's so heavy. No, replied Mr. Mean, it's your washing, you carry it. But as soon as he'd said that, he felt a tingling in his nose. What do you think happened? I think you're right. I think his money has turned back into potatoes, or maybe carrots, or onions, or broccoli, or peppers. Oh, that's not what happened. Mr. Mean's nose turned into a carrot. Oh no, he gasped. The old washerwoman chuckled. And then Mr. Mean remembered the wizard's words. Yes, he cried in a panic. Of course I'll help you. And there's his nose. Look, it's a carrot. So he's agreeing to help her now. And he carried the huge bundle of washing to where the old washerwoman wanted. And the carrot turned back into a nose and off he went. The old washerwoman chuckled again and turned back into a wizard. It had been him all along. The wizard was trying to check to see if he's being nice. On his way into town, Mr. Mean passed by a cottage garden. In the garden there was an old man chopping wood. He saw Mr. Mean pass and called out. Excuse me, he called, could you give an old man a bit of a hand, young fellow me lad? No, replied Mr. Mean, it's your wood, you chop it. But as soon as the words had passed his lips, guess what happened? I wonder what body part is going to change this time. His head, his hands, his ears turned into tomatoes. Oh no, he gasped. The old man chuckled and Mr. Mean remembered the wizard's words. Yes, he cried, of course I'll give you a hand. And he chopped until all the wood was cut. And the tomatoes turned back into ears and off he went. The old man chuckled again and turned back into the wizard. He was teaching Mr. Mean a lesson, just as he had promised. Eventually Mr. Mean arrived in the town. There was a little boy crying because his ball had got stuck on top of a wall. Please, sir, cried the boy, please, sir, could you reach my ball down for me? No, retorted Mr. Mean, it's your and then he stopped. There was a funny tingling feeling in his feet. Yes, he said hurriedly, of course I will. And he reached up and passed the ball to the boy and went on his way, looking anxiously at his feet. He remembered to be kind. The little boy stopped crying and turned into the wizard. I think, he said to himself, I think that Mr. Mean, by and large, is beginning, if I'm not very much mistaken, to be not quite so mean. And I think, although I could be wrong, although I never am, that he has, thank goodness, learnt his lesson. Today, Mr. Mean's nothing like so mean as he used to be, and he doesn't keep his money in a box in the kitchen any more. He spent it all on having his house mended and painted and made spick and span, and he's turned into quite a generous sort of fellow. Goodness, he's so generous. Do you know what he gave to his brother last Christmas? I wonder. 2 pieces of coal. What a funny man Mr. Mean is. Now for our song for today. And our song for today is going to be Hop on the Numbers Train. Are you ready? I'll count to 3 and then we will sing together. 1, 2, 3. Hop on the numbers train, we'll go round and round again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Hop on the numbers train, we'll go round and round again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. What numbers can you see as the train passes you and me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. What numbers can you see as the train passes you and me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Very good, boys and girls. I will see you again on Monday for another song and another story. Have a great weekend.